You wake up, check your phone, and the number is impossible. The world population just dropped by 50%. First, we take a slow breath, because fear rises fast when the world changes overnight. Our first science-based affirmation is simple. We can stay calm and think clearly under shock. Emergency services would be overwhelmed at first, not because of monsters, but because of confusion. Hospitals would face urgent staffing gaps, even if some beds are suddenly empty. Police, firefighters, and ambulance teams would reorganize shifts in real time. Governments would activate crisis plans, even if those plans were never meant for this situation. The internet would explode with rumors, and many would be wrong. Our second affirmation, we verify information before we react. Scientists would immediately ask the most important question: what caused it, and is it still happening? In the first hours, many workplaces would stop because too many people are missing. Transportation would slow down as fewer workers run airports, trains, and buses. Some roads would become quieter, but accidents could rise due to panic driving. Power plants and water systems need trained staff, so keeping them running becomes priority one. Our third affirmation, critical infrastructure is protectable when we focus and coordinate. Governments would likely ask essential workers to report first: healthcare, utilities, food, and security. Supermarkets could see sudden crowding, even though there may be enough food overall. Supply chains would break in strange places, like missing truck drivers or warehouse crews. Pharmacies would be a major stress point, especially for insulin, antibiotics, and heart medications. Our fourth affirmation, we solve shortages faster when we share, not hoard. Financial markets would likely crash at first, because uncertainty is a shock multiplier. Banks might limit withdrawals to prevent a full panic run. Many businesses would pause operations to account for missing staff and missing customers. Some industries would be hit harder, like restaurants, events, and travel. Other industries would become more important, like logistics, repairs, energy, and healthcare. Our fifth affirmation, after disruptions, systems tend to reorganize around essentials. Governments might declare temporary emergency rules to keep key services running. Courts, permits, and paperwork would slow down because fewer workers remain. Schools would close briefly, then reopen with new structures and smaller classes. Our sixth affirmation, humans adapt routines faster than we think. In cities, many apartments and houses would suddenly be empty. That would reduce housing pressure and could lower rent and home prices. But it would also create new problems, like abandoned buildings and unclear ownership. Local governments would need clear systems to manage property fairly. Our seventh affirmation, fair rules reduce conflict during big changes. With fewer commuters, traffic and air pollution could drop quickly. Noise levels in many places would fall, and streets might feel strangely quiet. But maintenance could also slip, so potholes and broken lights might increase. Public transit might run less often because it depends on staff and budgets. Our eighth affirmation, less demand helps, but less labor can hurt. Farming would face a serious challenge because agriculture depends on seasonal labor. Some crops could fail simply because there aren't enough hands at the right time. Governments might redirect workers and machines toward food production. More farms would adopt automation, like drones, sensors, and robotic harvesters. Our ninth affirmation, technology can expand capacity when labor is limited. Fishing fleets, trucking, and food processing plants would also need rapid restaffing. People might shift to simpler diets that are easier to produce and distribute. Communities could organize local food networks like neighborhood distribution hubs. Our 10th affirmation, local cooperation can stabilize survival needs. Over time, food waste might decrease because demand matches supply more carefully. The emotional impact would be enormous because almost everyone would lose someone. Grief would become a global shared experience, and mental health support would be essential. Our 11th affirmation, asking for help is a strength, not a weakness. Many people would rethink what matters because sudden loss changes priorities. Some conflicts might pause, while others could intensify due to fear and blame. Leaders would need to speak carefully to reduce scapegoating. Our 12th affirmation, Compassion lowers violence and increases stability. Religions and community groups would likely become major support networks. At the same time, science teams would study patterns to understand the event. Our 13th affirmation: knowledge replaces panic with direction. After the first months, labor shortages would push wages up in many essential jobs. Some companies would offer training fast because they need workers quickly. Remote work and automation would expand even more because efficiency becomes survival. Governments might simplify training rules while still protecting safety. Our 14th affirmation: learning new skills is possible at any age. With fewer people, some countries might open borders to attract workers. Immigration policies could shift dramatically as labor becomes precious. International cooperation could improve because every region needs stability, or it could worsen if nations turn inward and distrustful. Our 15th affirmation: cooperation is a choice we can reinforce daily. Energy demand would drop so some power grids would have less strain. That could cut emissions in the short term, but maintenance still matters. Some countries might accelerate renewable energy because it needs fewer fuel supply steps. Others might cling to old systems due to institutional inertia. Our 16th affirmation: long-term change happens when incentives match reality. Fewer people could mean less pressure on forests, water, and wildlife habitats. Some ecosystems might recover, especially near dense cities and industrial zones. But abandoned infrastructure can leak pollution if not maintained. Environmental teams would become more important, not less. Our 17th affirmation: caring for the planet is also caring for public health. Over years, societies would redesign around scarcity of labor and abundance of space. Cities might shrink in some areas and consolidate in others. Some rural towns could disappear, while others could revive with new settlers. Governments might invest in smart infrastructure that needs fewer workers to run. Our 18th affirmation: better systems reduce the burden on people. Culture would change too, because fewer people means fewer crowds and different social life. Sports, concerts, and festivals could return smaller but more community-focused. Some industries would fade, and new ones would rise around resilience. Our 19th affirmation: change is painful, but it also creates new paths. Education might focus more on practical skills, systems thinking, and mental health. Long-term birth rates might rise as people seek to rebuild families. Or birth rates might fall if trauma makes people uncertain about the future. Governments might offer support for parents, like childcare and housing incentives. Our 20th affirmation: supportive policy can make recovery more humane. Over decades, the world could become cleaner and less crowded, but not automatically fairer. Fairness would depend on how resources and power are shared after the shock. Our 21st affirmation: justice is something humans build, not something that appears by itself. If we choose empathy, cooperation, and evidence-based decisions, we could stabilize and improve. If we choose fear, blame, and misinformation, we could deepen the crisis. Final affirmation: even after a massive loss, humans can rebuild a safer world with science, care, and courage.